Hi everybody, my name is Jack Stangiani, and this is the first entry of the series I'm doing on the third rebuild of my bike. That's 2000 Suzuki SV650. So before I just jump straight into tearing it down and all that stuff, I wanted to give the backstory for some context. So I got that bike completely stock in 2010, and I tore it down for an online build off in 2011, and got it all together and running properly in the beginning to the summer of 2012, and then in the fall of 2012 I wrecked it. It was a pretty bad crash. I injured myself permanently, and the bike wasn't too bad off, really. It was salvageable. So over the next several years up until now, I've slowly been rebuilding the bike and kind of rebuilding myself as well. The accident cost me most of my left leg, and I now wear a prosthesis. And I might go into that more in another video, but for now, we'll leave it at that, I guess. So the reason why I'm having to rebuild the bike for a third time is because a couple months ago, I was taking apart the rear suspension because I noticed that the rear shock looked bent and it was actually touching the swing arm, which I had never seen it do that before. So upon a closer inspection, as I removed the knuckle that mounts to the frame and the rear shock bolts to, as I removed that, a piece of the frame fell off with it. So the frame is potentially useless now. It's a cast aluminum frame, and there are high risks to trying to weld it and repair it that way. So I guess now I'll go ahead and do a walk around of the bike and kind of show you what's already been done, and talk about some stuff I plan to do. So here we go. Okay, so here it is. As you can tell, I've already kind of started to take it apart a little bit. It was already not complete, and then I just kind of started undoing what I recently have done. But some main things to note on the bike, I suppose, other than, like I said, the GSXR front end. That's from a 2005 600, and so is the rear wheel from a 2005 or mid 2000s GSXR 600 or 750. They're both the same. And this subframe, I recently had someone build for me because I don't have 220 here at my house and don't have a TIG welder and don't really have the skills. And this was too important because literally my ass is on the line here with it. So I had him build this to my specs out of aluminum, and it has to weigh like no more than a pound, honestly. Another thing to note would be this big mechanical thing right here. So what this is it's called a Tronic push button gear change. So basically, when you lose your leg or have nerve damage or whatever, and you're no longer able to shift using your left foot, you get something like this. And what it does is it uses a very strong electromagnet inside of this this piston here, and with the push of a button that would be mounted here on the left-hand switchgear, it would shift up and down just like that. So the company's based out of England. They have a branch in the United States, but I went straight to the source in the UK and had them send one of those to me with an SV650-ish specific kit. And I haven't tested it yet. And I've had it for a while, and hopefully it works because I'm sure it's out of warranty, but I know that they have amazing customer service as well, so I'm not too worried about it. So yeah, let's move around a little bit. I actually just was kind of waiting on this stand before I started to tear it down. This is made by Venom, which is one of many generic companies. They sell these on eBay. You can get the exact same thing and pay way more, but there's no point. Like I said, it's the exact same thing. For this triple tree stand, I paid $65, I think, shipped for this, and it seems to work. This should get me by to be able to pull everything off. The last thing to come off will be the frame off of the engine and then the front end and everything. So not really much to see on the other side here. And then I've just got my storage here. This gas tank I got, as well as this exhaust, is a Micron magnesium exhaust off of a track bike, and that's where I got the replacement engine as well. And this is an older Ducati Monster seat that was on the bike before the crash, but the subframe I had that was made out of steel got a little tweaked and it weighed a ton and it was always kind of ugly, so I figured now would be the time to build a new one. And that's the KTM European model Super Duke headlight I had on it. And I may or may not keep that. I may go with a stacked number plate with like a stacked projector kind of thing. I'm not really sure yet. So when I had crashed, I bent the shift shaft on the left side of the engine where the actual shifter connects to, and I broke a little bit of the engine case. So rather than deal with tearing into the engine, I found this insane deal years back on a track bike with a ton of spare parts for $500. I sold the spare parts, made a hefty profit, and basically got all the parts I needed for free. So let that be a lesson to you. If you're looking to do something on the cheap, you got to be patient. And the brand new rear sprocket, the Pitbull rear sprocket I had on it, broke 2 teeth, so I had to throw it away. It had like less than 50 miles on it, I think. So I got a new one of those, and the left rear set was gone. Actually, it was completely gone. It just ripped off and it was in the woods somewhere. So luckily I found a used left Vortex rear set on eBay for super cheap, and I snagged that up. As I said, this is something that has been ongoing for a few 5-6 years now. So I've been able to take my time, kind of growing impatient and feeling bad about not having the bike finished and now having to kind of start all over. So I figured maybe this time I'd make a big thing out of it and put it all up on YouTube and see if anybody was interested in watching it. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the bike. So that's it for now. I know there wasn't a whole lot going on in this video, but it was more of an introduction kind of thing, gauge interest and all that good stuff. So the next video I'm going to be doing, which may be pretty soon, is going to be the actual tearing down of the bike. Thank you very much for watching, and come back soon to check up and see if I have any new videos out. So thanks a lot.